Few little shots of rain are now breezing off, so we're getting sunny outside, but still staying cool, 78 degrees, and it feels good. We have a nice, cool northerly breeze, so comfortable night on the way, much more comfortable than last night. 75 by 8 p.m., 73, and pretty cool by 11 p.m. And then by the start, cooler morning we've had in a long time in those upper 60s. We do have the chance, though, for some severe weather tomorrow night, especially around midnight. We're right on the edge of the bullseye. I'll talk about what this means, what we got to prepare for tomorrow, because we got some storms that have to make their way through before Saturday. Acadiana's KLAF News at 6 starts right now.
Coming up next, the Cajun John Wayne is officially running for Congress. I'm Acadiana's KLAF's Chris Welty. Here why Captain Clay Higgins is running. Those details coming up in a live report.
And the new Lafayette Police Chief requirements now say a bachelor's degree. Details on how this change could affect the interim chief.
Plus, changes are coming to salaries and overtime. We'll share how Acadiana weighs in.
Live, local, Cajun first. You're watching Acadiana's KLAF News at 6.
Good evening, I'm Adam Hooper.
And I'm Danielle Grossman. Thank you for choosing Acadiana's KLAF News at 6 for your news tonight.
1 week ago, Captain Clay Higgins announced on Acadiana's KLAF he is running for office tonight. We now know he's running for Congress to replace Representative Charles Bustani.
KLAF's Chris Welty is live in Lafayette at his campaign kickoff. Chris, why is Clay Higgins running for Congress?
Good evening, Adam, Danielle. Captain Clay Higgins says that he wants to represent real Americans and the real America. He says he's tired of career politicians who don't fulfill their promises in D.C. Now, the campaign kicks off at 7 o'clock here at the Hilton Garden Inn in Lafayette. And UL political science professor Dr. Pearson Cross believes today's political climate is quite beneficial for the Cajun John Wayne. Cross says voters are looking for those outspoken, colorful candidates to run for election. We've seen it with the Trump campaign in his bid for the White House. And once again, the campaign announcement kicks off at 7 o'clock here at the Hilton Garden Inn in Lafayette. And Higgins is entering a crowded race for Congress right now. Scott Angel is the front runner in this race, but UL political scientist Pearson Cross believes Higgins needs to raise about $150,000 to $200,000 to be competitive in this election. Now, the Higgins campaign, they do have this room set and ready to go for 7 o'clock, but they are expecting a very large turnout, and they do have a stage set up right behind the Hilton Garden Inn where they're expecting Clay Higgins to make his official announcement. Reporting live in Lafayette, I'm Chris Welty for Acadiana's KLAF News.
Thank you, Chris. About 4.2 million workers could be getting a little extra money in their pockets. The White House announced a new regulation today that will allow salaried workers who make less than $47,476 to get overtime pay when they work over 40 hours a week.
Our Toy Thornton, he tells us how workers and businesses could be affected by this new regulation.
It's a glass half full, half empty situation. It depends on how you look at it, and that choice is in the eye of the beholder.
I feel good about it.
Rowena Broussard chooses to see it
I think it'd be great.
in a positive way.
Sure.
She says overtime with no pay is just not okay.
It's just not fair to them. You know, I mean, here they are working and, and not getting paid for it. It's just not right.
Currently, salaried workers who make about $455 a week can get overtime. But with the new regulation, that now goes up to $910. Good for employees, challenging for employers.
Given the economy, the way it is right now, it's going to be an interesting 6 months for employers to try to figure out how best to accommodate and, of course, comply with the law.
But labor and employment attorney Greg Guidry says firms like his have been talking to employers for months about this.
They should hopefully have already a plan of attack, and now they've got 6 more months, and so they've got plenty of time to do the right thing for both the employees and for the business.
He says the objective is crystal clear.
The goal is to keep as many employed as possible. I mean, that's the goal of both employers and employees, of course.
Broussard is out on disability now, but says she could have used the extra money.
Oh, it would have felt great.
And this new regulation goes into effect on December 1st. In Lafayette, Toy Thornton, KLAF News.
Thank you, Toy. Attorney Guidry adds that there will be an adjustment to the minimum salary threshold every 3 years.
Interim Lafayette Police Chief Reginald has been disqualified from getting the permanent position. The decision comes after the Lafayette Civil Service Board decided that the applicant must have a bachelor's degree. The candidate must also have 10 years experience. Thomas has 25 years, but only an associate's degree.
I do have college, but I bring so much more to the table. And when you bring so much more to the table and you know that you bring so much more to the table, and because of one situation they decide not to allow you to test, then yeah, it is disappointing. Because I sit there and watch. That's it.
Interim Chief Thomas says he's currently pursuing a bachelor's degree.
In our Crime Watch, a Broussard man was arrested for shooting at a group of people after a fight at a convenience store. 52-year-old James Linton was arrested for 3 counts of attempted second-degree murder, illegal use of a firearm, and possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. Broussard police say a verbal fight in the 4100 block of U.S. Highway 90 last night involved Linton, and during the argument, he reached in his car, grabbed a revolver out of the bag, and aimed it at the individual. Police say Linton began to run towards the others, shot one time in their direction, and then fled in his car.
The Lafayette police need your help in identifying a suspect involved in a stabbing. The incident happened last night around 7:40 in the p.m. Police say 16-year-old boy was walking down 400 block of Bluebird Drive when an unknown black male juvenile approached him. An argument escalated into a fight, and then the unknown suspect stabbed the victim once in the right side of the abdomen and left the scene. The victim was transported to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. Anyone with information about the fight or the identity of the suspect is encouraged to call Lafayette Police Department or Crime Stoppers at 232-TIPS.
Well, 3 people are behind bars in connection with an overnight shooting. It happened last night around 8:30 in the 800 block of Center Street. 2 of the suspects allegedly shot at the victims while they were sitting in their car. The victims were transported to an area hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. Isaiah Isaac and Earl Shelvin are charged with attempted second-degree murder, while Keila Francis is charged with principal to attempted second-degree murder. That investigation is ongoing.
A Brobridge man is wanted for failure to appear in court for a drug charge and a 3rd DWI offense. 42-year-old Francis Key's last known address was in the 1000 block of Hollow Oak Road in Brobridge. If you know his whereabouts, call the St. Martin Parish Sheriff's Office.
22 pounds of marijuana is off the streets following an investigation by the CROWLEY Police Department. Police say the search warrant executed at a residence in the 400 block of North Avenue C led to the arrest of 42-year-old Kevin Moore and the discovery of illegal substance. Moore was charged with possession with intent to distribute marijuana and booked into the Acadia Parish Jail.
Also in Acadia Parish, police are investigating the felony theft of headlights off of an 18-wheeler. It happened in a parking lot of a business located in the 2000 block of North Cherokee Drive. 2 Peterbilt headlights were taken from under the hood of an 18-wheeler that was parked at that business. Anyone with information is urged to call the TIPS line at 789-TIPS.
Students at Acadiana Middle School traded in the hamburgers and the pizza for a more healthier snack in hopes of fighting childhood obesity. Dozens of students participated in the Kids in the Know program for a period of over 3 years, engaging themselves in a plethora of fun-filled activities like fitness, nutrition, and behavior modification education. The program was started by the Women's Foundation after finding that Louisiana ranked the 5th highest in the nation for childhood obesity.
The LSU School of Veterinary Medicine is looking for canine participants for a clinical trial. A $235,000 grant was received to support research that treats dogs with elbow osteoarthritis. Requirements for dogs entering into the study include being at least 1 year of age and weighing at least 30 pounds. For more information on the study requirements, visit CajunFirst.com.
The Office of Inspector General completed an audit report on Lafayette General's medical center's billing system in 2013 and 2014. They found that LGMC, that is, complied with the Medicare billing requirements for 34 of the 103 inpatient claims. The remaining 69 inpatient claims were found not to be compliant and may have caused the overbilling of at least $4.4 million. In a statement, Lafayette General says they would like the public to know that the alleged overbilling is not fraudulent claims, and they disagree with 85% of the OIG's conclusions and are appealing the findings.
A growing population in CANINE is leading the city into a need of a new wastewater treatment plant, but it comes with a hefty price tag.
Well, come December, residents can head to the polls to vote on a 1-cent sales tax to help cover the cost of the new $25 million facility. Taylor Tressay joins us now with the latest. Taylor?
Well, Adam and Danielle, the plan for this facility has been 3 years in the making after CANINE officials noted the population was growing, and now CANINE is desperate to get this tax to pass. Come December, CANINE residents can head to the polls to vote on a 1-cent sales tax to help cover the cost of the new $25 million facility. The tax will be spread out over a 40-year period, putting the burden of the cost on everyone, not just the residents.
They're not going to be carrying the whole burden on their shoulders. It's actually going to be spread out to the visitors who come to town. They can help pay for this plant.
The alternative to the tax puts the cost of the facility solely on the residents, adding a minimum of $65 to their sewer bills.
I mean, your comparison, I did it about from my home, and the extra $65 for the bill, I'll go to the store and shop for that same month, and I'll spend maybe $10 on that extra penny. So there's really no comparison. I mean, I'd rather spend my $10 and pay that 1 penny than the $65 on that bill.
The 1% tax has a dual purpose. 75% will go towards the wastewater facility, and the remaining 25% will go to the police and fire departments, helping to pay for much-needed upgrades. If the tax passes, the city will avoid being fined by the state, and construction will begin on the facility. If the tax does not pass,
so it's going to be a tough time for us in CANINE if we can't get it passed.
I spoke with a resident in CANINE today who didn't want to be on camera, but they told me they thought the tax was a very good idea. Back to you guys.
Thank you so much, Taylor. Coming up after the break, controversy about Facebook's trending topics section. We'll have those details for you first, but Jordan.
And you can see we're right on the edge of the bullseye of some severe weather risk areas for tomorrow. Let you know when this thing is supposed to hit, because it's going to hit. Weather coming right back.